Rap TikTok truly is a cancer on society. It's a place where people feel entitled to share their horrible takes about the painful world of experimental hip-hop. It's the only place on this wide world where you can watch two people argue about that JPEGmafia song with a dying cop across 9 levels of stitched video. TikTok is all about discovery, but this small slice of the internet has only helped me discover how much I hate myself. That and Danny P. Danny P is a rapper, best known for his work in the Fortnite song genre. His most successful work is a ditty called Fortnite Anthem, which blew up a couple years ago. However, I find his debut full-length album to be far more interesting than the single. Vic Roy 1 is a project Danny put together back in 2019, and besides for a few songs themed around dated pop culture references like Apex Legends and Rick and Morty, and a general video game-like aesthetic, this album is quite different from his most popular body of work. The album begins with a track titled The Storm. Storm is a very melodic song with heavy use of autotune. It is both a reference to Fortnite, which has a storm, and an allegory about the regrets Danny has on the song. He has a need to go back in time, and he uses the idea of the storm as a metaphor for his current state of being overwhelmed, scared, and vulnerable. Fast forward over to the track Thousandaire. Danny raps on what sort of sounds like a Earl Sweatshirt type beat, then this transitions into a more trap-like instrumental as Danny hops into the first verse.
I used to rock Taylor shoe with holes. Now I rock Marshall shoes, but they don't got holes. I used to have no money in my bank. Now I got $1,000 and some change. I used to eat spaghetti with the sauce. Now I add cheese with the frozen meatballs. They used to be like, who's that kid? Now they like, I kinda recognize him.
So, I've shown you 2 songs, and so far Danny P just seems like a slightly above average rapper for a kid with some pretty decent beat selection. However, as we delve further into this album, we shall find that Danny P might just be the figurehead of the next era of experimental hip-hop. Let's talk about School Violins. School Violins is a song about school shootings in the United States. Elements remind me of that Logic 1-800 song, but this is a fundamentally different perspective on a social issue. The Logic song is corny. I'm sorry, but it's out of touch, and it's an over-glorified view of what being depressed actually is. I don't doubt that Logic wrote this from a place of at least some sort of honesty, but the decision to have this song be perfectly resolved by the end makes the whole thing feel worthless. Danny P, on the other hand, takes this incredibly complex and taboo topic like violence in schools as a child who couldn't be older than 12. And yet, he does it with precision. He carefully weaves together a story of a potential school shooter. It's like a ballet, the way he describes this person without holding back for the sake of radio play or top 40 potential. The verses are great, but the song really comes together in that chorus. This is a sad song. While the instrumental and vocal performances are, frankly, amazing, the sheer fact that a young kid felt compelled to sing these lyrics, isn't it sad? Please don't bring a gun to school. It sounds like a plea, and really it is. Kids today in school are constantly reminded of school shootings through drills and preparations. It's hard to explain to someone older how normalized it is to have lockdown drills where they don't even tell you that it's a drill. And yet, despite this, the problems that cause school shootings never really get addressed. The system that creates these drills to mitigate these effects are the causes of these tragedies. We may have built up a system in our society in which kids are turned into senseless and violent people. I don't know if we're ready to have this conversation, but Danny P is.
Please don't bring a gun to school. Please don't bring a gun to school. Everything you do, what you choose to do.
Danny P is not just some kid who made a Fortnite song. He is someone pushing the boundaries of experimental and alternative hip-hop far beyond what I've mentioned. Vicroy 1 has an amazing selection of completely unique beats and instrumentals. Danny takes influence from R&B, jazz, EDM, and cloud rap to create a project which lives in its aesthetics. Danny is not afraid to break the mold with experimental tracks like Space OMG or Reset or Animated. But he's not just doing this for nothing. He's not afraid to engage with the traditional and mesh it with the experimental. For an example, see Fortnite Christmas Anthem, where he transitions from this upbeat, calm Christmas carol to a beat that wouldn't sound out of place on Die Lit. A few weeks ago, me and a friend of mine had a conversation about what he saw as a general lack of creativity and new ideas in the music industry and rap music. And while he was right in many respects, I think this album is a sign that there are so many goddamn people making jaw-dropping music right now. We just have to find them. Thank you, and good night.
I make haters bounce like you hit a box spring. Girls lean back when I hit the downswing. I'm animated. Hey, you know who's getting all those Vic Roys?